Well, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. It's me. It is Saturday morning Pacific time, and I'm a little bit gussied up because in just 1 hour and 1 minute, I'll be teaching my live passion masterclass to over 450 people from around the world. If you would like to join me, it's not too late. Click below, register. It's free, it's live. I'll be teaching the 3 keys to great relationship, the 3 major problems in great relationships. And this is not a hinky, hunky, silly class where I took a weekend workshop and how to have a great relationship. 13 years of university, Fulbright scholar, one of the top scholarships in the world, was accepted to Harvard for my postdoc, chose UCSF because it had an even more valuable sexuality training program at that time a couple of decades ago. I was a university professor. I've had a full-time talk radio show. I have a podcast with over 150,000 downloads. I have an award-winning, extraordinary program that kicks off in 1 week, the Become Passion 12-week program, which is an immersion online program with a full course curriculum, couples and communication exercises, sexuality exercises. I teach you the 3 key areas I'm going to briefly cover right now. And excuse me, if you're at all interested in the possibility of a 3-month journey with me, I teach you every second week live as well. That's where you fill out an advanced questionnaire about you and your relationship. I get to know you, what's working, what's not. I've been teaching a lot. My voice is a little gravelly, excuse me. Little swig of scotch. No, it's herbal tea. And if you're at all interested, if you're like, 3 months, babe, investing in our relationship, it's online. You can watch the lessons when they work for you. Every other week, I teach a live class where I read your extensive questionnaire. So I'm really up to date on how you and your partner are actually doing, what's working, what's not, what your history is, what your repeating issues are, etc. And then you send me your questions for me to answer in the every 2-week live sessions. And I answer them and give you coaching. And it's not on video, it's completely confidential. Now, of course, we're all busy. If you can't make a live class, what are you going to do? You're going to send me your question anyway, and I'll answer it on that live class. What I'm talking about right now is the actual 3-month program that's beginning May 3rd for the only time in 2024. But what I'm really excited about is in an hour, I'll be wearing a different jacket. I'm going to be teaching my free passion masterclass. Please come if any of my work resonates with you because it's free and it's incredibly helpful. You'll take some polls. You'll be answering some questions. We actually send you a workbook to answer a few questions about your relationship. I'll teach for about an hour or an hour and a half, and then I'll spend about 10 minutes telling you all about the 3-month program in a week, because probably about 4 to 5% of you watching right now or who come to that class will choose to join me. I'll get to know you and your sweetheart really well, and I'll help you get from where you are to where you want to be, just like the couple who sent me this question about repeated nasty arguments. Does this sound familiar? It sure does to me, especially in my first marriage, which only lasted about 2 years in my late 20s. I didn't have the skills I have now. Now I've got the skills. Now I have the knowledge, the very same skills and knowledge I teach in the 3-month program, and I'll teach you some of on today's masterclass. By the way, you can click below. If you can't make it today, 10 a.m. Pacific time in an hour, I'm teaching the 4th and final one. I teach each class live. It's the same, similar class each time. So pick the one that works for you. Today in an hour, Saturday, 10 a.m., or tomorrow, Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. That's the last one I'll be teaching in 2024. I would love to have you there. And remember, at the end of that free class this weekend, you get a chance to ask me your questions like this couple. It says, what do we do about repeated nasty arguments? First of all, I want to give you the 3 most important words I ever give a couple, which are, you are normal. By normal here, I mean typical. I don't mean normal like we should feel it's normal as in okay to have ugly repeating arguments. It's not okay. It's damaging. In fact, there's some research, the Gottman research in the 1980s and some other research done by Gottman and other institutes since that indicate it's not how much you fight that determines whether you're miserable or you end up breaking up. It's not if you fight loudly. If you're really a passionate person, you yell, maybe you even swear. That doesn't necessarily predict problems either, believe it or not. Well, Dr. Cheryl, then what does? What are the arguing styles? We've got nasty repeated arguments. Does that cause problems? It very much depends on how you fight when you're upset. Very briefly, when we're upset, we can move into what is called a state of flooding. The technical term is diffuse physiological arousal. What does that mean? It means that we are overwhelmingly upset. And the easy way to tell, most of us have a smartwatch or something that tells us now, but you can take your own pulse. If your pulse rate is over 95 beats a minute, you're flooded, you're jacked up, you're in fight, flight, or freeze, whether you like it or not. Your body is in that state. Now, the scary thing about that is twofold. First of all, it's not great for your health. Secondly, although it's normal to become stressed, either anxious, angry, triggered, maybe you're crying, maybe you're in grief, maybe, excuse me, you're fearful because this argument means, I don't know if we can stay together. I don't know if we're going to make it as a couple. Whatever's going on physiologically, when the body becomes flooded, when you're arguing with your partner or your boss or whoever, we aren't as rational. Now, this is neurophysiologically accurate. I'm a brain geek. I got accepted to medical school, and if I'd chosen medicine, I would have gone into neurology. When we're in a state of flooding, or this diffuse physiological arousal, when we're disagreeing with our partner, we're arguably, this is oversimplified, but we're in our reptilian brain. That's not a correct word, but it's helpful. It means we're in fight or flight. We're not a rational human being with all this forebrain behind our forehead, behind our eyebrows, that helps us reason things out, that helps us think about the consequences. Like if you say to your partner, I want a divorce, I hate you, I don't even want to try anymore, while you're flooded, you're in a reactive, more reptilian upset in your body and your mind, and you can say and do things you really don't mean, but you say them in the heat of the moment. So there are 4 types of destructive ways when we argue that are a real problem. Self-diagnose. I'm only going to cover them very quickly. I cover them in more detail in the free class in an hour or tomorrow. So if you're like, I want more, please join me there. If you absolutely can't make either of those classes, sign up anyway. We'll send you the recording after, and you'll have access to that for a couple of days before we take it down, and you can watch the recording. And you may think, you know what? I really want to clean some of this up. I would like some help. And you, hopefully, a few of you will choose to join. Well, not hopefully, a few of you will join, but hopefully it's you. Will join for the 3-month immersion program kicking off May 3rd. Okay, the first one is a type of criticism. This is damaging and ugly. You've got to learn to mediate this. I'm a realist. So you notice I'm not going to tell you right now, stop fighting, or when you're fighting, never do these crappy things, because I know we all will to some degree when we're flooded, unless you're a conflict avoidant couple that doesn't have arguments. In fact, you tend to sweep things under the rug because you don't want to have arguments. That has its own problems. With you, I want to help you learn to talk calmly about scary things, about difficult things, about trigger issues. But what are the 4? So if you've just joined us, these are the 4 ugly fighting styles that can be very damaging. The good news is we can self-diagnose them, figure out where we're blowing it. Try not to diagnose your partner. That's their job. And say, how can I begin to improve? The first one's a specific type of criticism. It's where you criticize your spouse in global terms that are very personal. So instead of saying, I'm really upset you forgot to take the garbage out, it creates more stress for me. You did agree it's your job. I'm really disappointed and I need you to do better. That's okay. This next one is a damaging type of criticism because it's global and specific. See if you can hear the difference. You're so unreliable. You forgot the garbage again. I have to do everything around here. I can't count on you. I don't even know why I bother. That's really damaging because I didn't say, I'm mad at you because you forgot to take the garbage out, which is okay. I said, I'm mad at you because you didn't take the garbage out because you're entirely reliable and I can't count on you and I can't trust you. You made it about your partner being entirely wrong all the time. So watch out for damaging criticism. I can do that. I now am pretty good at doing the first type I mimicked, which is it's fine to say you're upset about something. Here's the behavior I'm bothered about. Here's what I need to change. The second one goes hand in hand with criticism, which is defensiveness. So when our partner says something we don't like or criticizes us or says something super legitimate, like, I'm really upset that you said you'd come to my important work thing and then you just blew it off. It seems you chose to stay home instead and you said you didn't feel like coming. I'm really hurt. I'm really mad. It's fine to express that. If I'm acting defensively though, I'll say, well, whatever, I was busy or I was tired. I didn't want to come. I defend my point of view. I don't hear your concern and go, okay, I'm sorry. I actually didn't realize it was that important to you, love. And I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. What was going on for me is I was feeling quite sick. I didn't know if I'd be very chatty tonight. And I thought I might come across as aloof or something. I chose to stay home. But I wish I had called you and we talked about it. And maybe I could have pulled myself together and come anyway. So Nasty global specific criticism, very bad for your relationship. Clean that shit up. Defensiveness. Look, it's hard not to feel defensive when someone's criticizing us, but we need to learn, and this is hard and it takes repetition. Come to today's masterclass. If you're on here live with me, great. I'm teaching a masterclass in 45 minutes at 10 a.m. Pacific time. You can join it below. Just register. It's free. I teach for over an hour and a half on these topics. And then I talk about my 3-month program, which is kicking off next week. A few of you may want to join me there. It's an incredible, honestly, life-changing journey, really a deep dive into renovating your relationship on all 3 aspects that are important. And plus the masterclass is a lot of fun. You'll learn a lot about yourself. You'll participate in some polls. It's entirely anonymous. Join me. Click below. If you've never been to my masterclass, I only teach it once a year, and this week is the time. I've taught it twice already. Today's the 3rd time, and tomorrow, Sunday at 1 p.m. is the 4th time. Join it. You won't regret it. 95% of people that join it, and it's a few hundred each time, are still there 90 minutes in. That's because it's a great class. It's entertaining, it's deep, it's powerful, and it teaches you things you want to know. Okay. Ugly specific criticism, bad, bad, bad. Learn to clean that up. It's really hard to clean it up. I still work on it sometimes. Second thing, being defensive, not taking responsibility for what's happening. Come on, grow up. When we were 8 and we were told, why didn't you mow the lawn? You were supposed to. I couldn't. I was busy. I didn't want to. I forgot. That's childish. We're grown-ups. We can go, yep, I didn't mow the lawn. Own it. And then say, frankly, I didn't feel like it and I was being lazy. I own that. Or I actually totally forgot. The dog started throwing up. I was worried about her. It went right out of my mind. I'm sorry. I'll do it tomorrow. We can be kinder and more adult. You know, the way we were when we were dating, when we were nicer to each other. Yeah, like that. So then, specific criticism, defensiveness. The last 2 are stonewalling, interesting term coined by the Gottman Institute to describe this thing where some of us guilty of a lot, which is not talking about it or refusing to talk about it or walking away when our partner's upset or turning to our device and ignoring them or leaving the house mid-argument and not coming back for a while, stonewalling, shutting our partner out. There are healthy ways to do that. I teach that in my 3-month immersion, healthy ways to take a time out during an argument, healthy ways to back away, regroup, and then reconnect with your partner when you can talk more reasonably about tough stuff. But stonewalling gets you nowhere in the end if you misuse it and build those walls and then never dismantle them. And the 4th most dangerous ugly fighting style is called contempt. And it's where you put your partner down in a supercilious way, in a critical way, in a sneery way. So it can be as simple as, well, you didn't take out the garbage, but I should know by now. I can't count on you. You're useless. Wow. Right? Even as I mimic it here, it probably made you feel uncomfortable because contempt is really, really nasty. Eye rolling. When your partner's telling you something important, you're like, oh, it's really contemptuous. Clean that up. It's hard to clean up. Some of us have these patterns. Sometimes we had them in our family, previous relationship. It's not that we're a bad person. I used to utilize contempt in my 20s and 30s. I am not judging, blaming, or shaming us. I'm encouraging us to say, okay, where do we argue with our partner in a way that is ugly, destructive, or just plain bloody unkind, causes difficulty? It leaves us feeling hurt, even if we say, look, I super didn't mean that. Which you didn't. You were flooded, you were irrational, you were being a bonehead when you said it. But it still can create hurt and harm, and it can build a distance between us that makes it harder to reconnect romantically, with trust and with confidence and calm, and also sexually, and just generally enjoy being with each other instead of feeling like we're walking on not eggshells, but broken glass, afraid to talk about certain things in case it ends up in that ugly, repeating argument. What's the moral of the teaching today? Everybody argues. Arguing is not in and of itself a predictor of misery or breakup or divorce. However, how we argue is really important. And these are skills you can learn. If I'm not your flavor, please seek out help somewhere else. If I'm your flavor, please come to one of the free masterclasses this weekend. You'll really, really appreciate it. I'm absolutely certain, because of the feedback I've had from over 10,000 couples in the last 5 years on this free class I'm teaching at 10 a.m. in 45 minutes. And I'm teaching it for the last time in 2024, tomorrow, Sunday at 1 p.m. If you absolutely can't join us live is more live. You're interactive. You can ask me your questions at the end. It's all anonymous. You're not on camera. You just ask your question in the chat box. You can send it to my team privately too. But you do get that chance to have me answer your questions if you're on live. If you can't make it live, register for one of them anyway, and we'll send you the recording and it's up for a couple of days before we take it down. Don't break up because you fight. Break up the way you fight. Change the way you argue. Have constructive conflict that even if it's painful and hard and difficult and upsetting, it gets you somewhere that is worthwhile. This is my wish for you. So nice to be with you today. I'm Dr. Cheryl Fraser. I hope to get to work with you this weekend on the free class. Bye for now.